The Zweihander is a beloved returning weapon from the first Code Vein. I loved it in the previous installment, and have been looking forward to this run ever since the game got announced. However, I can't say I loved it as much as I loved it in Code Vein 1. Let's get into the details. First off, we have to find the Zweihander, which I somehow didn't find all throughout my first playthrough of the game. To acquire it, the easiest way I found is to go to the Northern Watch Fort, and then ride and glide south down to the church with the Golden Blood Bead. Go down that path further and you'll find a Predator-type enemy, and to the left, a passage outside to the hidden Riverside path. By the water, you'll find Jadwiga's minion, who will be selling the sword for 1800 haze. We can slap on the typical buffing forme, Adrenaline and Overdrive. Overdrive being active as long as you don't get hit. This is nice to boost our light and heavy attacks. Early game we only have access to one weapon, so be sure to put at least one of these on your Zweihander. Next, this is a strength scaling weapon. For it to scale even better with strength, you can infuse it with brawn. The item to do so is in the supply fort, which will be on your way to the Northern Watch Fort in Corroded Scar. At the very top, there's an elite knight enemy, and behind him is a chest with the item. The next two forme we want to use are the two I used on the grenade launcher, Flashing Fang and Blow of Madness. These only last for one attack, but with the attack forme we'll be using, it will be very helpful. One attack may be all we need. Not only do both of these collectively only cost 5 Ichor, but drain attacks will not reset them. So if you need more Ichor for your special attacking forme, feel free to gather more. Blow of Madness you can obtain early game in the refugee camp in Sunken City, and Flashing Fang is in a chest. Just head south of the Northern Watch Fort, and it'll be at the eastern end of the road in town. The attack forme I've been alluding to is Boosted Blade. I didn't want to go right to Boosted Blade because even though I tried to avoid other people's builds, I constantly see YouTube shorts of people destroying bosses with Boosted Blade. And I gotta say, it's really good. Insert clip here of me sending a boss into phase 2 with one hit. This forme does have one drawback, since mobile enemies may be able to dodge out of the way. But if you're playing with a partner out who can distract the enemy, it is an easy setup for a free Boosted Blade. The other attack forme I used was Wraith's Fury. This is the Swift variant, which can be found, of course, at the Northern Watch Fort. Talk to Jadwiga's minion right outside. This is an up to 3-hit attack, each hit expending 2 Ichor, and it is much faster than other attacking forme, in addition to propelling your character forward. So if you need a quick attack that is also a distance closer, hit Wraith's Fury real quick, and then follow up with a light or heavy attack. For this run, I used the Bat Jail. This is one of the longer range jails, and is the easiest one to hit a drain attack with. You can stand back pretty far, and the jail will launch a projectile at your enemy, draining some Ichor on the initial hit, and then more over time. Perfect for enemies you're not comfortable getting up close to. Thing is, I kind of prefer Ivy that I used on my first run. The uncharged drain attack does not have as much range, but you can also aim Ivy on the ground, and it will reach even further than the Bat ranged attack. It requires a bit more finesse, sure, but I believe it to be much more rewarding. For Bequeathed Forme, I used Jose's again. Blood Reaver Blade has really high single damage hits, and for defense I used the Parry Shield or Umbral Shift depending on the fight. After you land a successful parry and the enemy is stunned, you can bring out a Boosted Blade, a Drain Attack, or with the big old Zweihander, a fully charged heavy. For this week, I have a bit of an out-of-the-ordinary question for you all. Because during this run, I was just not having it. Super busy week at work, I barely had time to complete this run. This is why you won't see the other endings done. I simply did not have time this week. And during the final boss fight, Valentin hit me with his healing attack twice in a row, so I just popped off. I don't care. I summoned Lou. So that brings me to the question. What do you do when you want to pop off in Souls-like games and win at any cost? In Code Vein 1 or 2, I'm calling in my partner, usually Lou in this game and Mia in the first one. And for Elden Ring, I'll use a fast dex weapon I'm comfortable with. With the Claws of Night, Uchigatana, or Antspur Rapier, I know I can shred any enemy in that game. So, when you're a little peeved and just want to beat the boss, let me know what you do in the comments down below. As always, this video is sponsored by my upcoming fantasy novel, Follow the Gleam, launching March 25th. Details in the description down below after launch. And if you want to see build videos like this every single week, be sure to like and subscribe to TheJerseySide, where we upload every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. For our blood code, we want something good with strength. Early game, I used Jose the hero. Then later on, I switched to Camillo. But finally for late game, Xenons served me best. Unlike the Lost Bardiche, I didn't really switch to another weapon to attack. I had on whatever fit with my burden, so I could equip Adrenaline and Overdrive there. Flashing Fang and Blow of Madness need to stay on the Zweihander, so I could use both or either of them at a moment's notice, and slam down a nice boosted blade. Now, I hate to do this, but I have to end this video with a few points of critique. I enjoy the Zweihander in Code Vein 1 better than this one. 3 reasons why. In the first game, you had a dash attack, and that attack would essentially stun lock enemies with a big weapon like the Zweihander. You can still do that with full charged heavy attacks in Code Vein 2, but it's not quite the same. Also, the Zweihander had early game availability. It was in a chest right next to the parking garage in the first area after the prologue. Here, it is literally on the far side of the map from Magmel Island. And finally, but most importantly, I want to put up 2 images. Both of these characters are holding the Zweihander and are the standard female character height. Do you see how much smaller the Code Vein 2 Zweihander is? And I gotta tell you, man, when I play a sequel to my goofy anime vampire game, I'm not looking for any size reductions.